to today's Whiteboard Wednesday. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about stretching. Just give you a general overview of what stretching is, why it's important, some things that can happen to your body if you're not stretching regularly, and then get into some specifics to talk about some calf stretches and why stretching your calves is important. So let's start with the basics. What is stretching? It's basically the elongation of a muscle, starting from where the muscle starts at its origin to where it inserts into the bone, which is the insertion point. Your muscles, if you think almost like a rubber band, they're going to stretch out. But if you don't hold them long enough, if you're not stretching and holding it for a certain amount of time, just like a rubber band, it's going to snap right back. But what stretching does is it really creates that elasticity and elongates that muscle so that you achieve a comfortable muscle tone. The result is going to increase your flexibility. It's going to give you more muscle control. It's also going to improve your overall range of motion. And it will also help alleviate if you're having a lot of muscle tightness. Sometimes that can lead to spasming or even muscle cramping. I know I've gotten cramping in my calves and that can be really painful, but a regular stretching routine can help with that. Why is stretching in general an important thing to do? It helps restore your full range of motion so that you have the availability of the full capacity of your muscles. If you're not stretching regularly, that can lead to other problems besides just the muscles being tight that can affect the joints that surround the muscles as well. Reducing your soft tissue tightness with stretching, it's going to reduce your stiffness. It can also improve your posture depending on what muscle you're stretching, and that's going to increase your performance. And it doesn't matter if you're a high-level athlete or if you just want to walk from your house to the mailbox. Stretching is going to give you a little bit more improved performance and improved mechanics regardless of what your activity level is. What happens when you're not stretching regularly? Big word, hypomobility. And what that word means is everything's just stiff and tight and you can't move throughout your available range as well as you should optimally. Again, the joints that are surrounding those tissues are going to start to stiffen up too and get really tight. And over time, that's going to alter your mechanics and you won't be able to move as well as you could before. That can lead to further injury if you're starting to compensate. If you're walking, for instance, if one muscle is tighter than the other, you won't be able to walk as well as you could before, and that can lead to further injury. If you're not stretching your muscles, that's going to put more stress not only on the muscles themselves, but also on the tendons and the ligaments. And what that's going to do is that's going to cause more stress on the tendons and ligaments and then the surrounding joints, and that's going to lead to further injury. Let's talk specifically about calf tightness, what it is, and some tests that you can do at home to see if you have some tight calves. You might be wondering what some causes of calf tightness can be. Sometimes it's something as simple as just walking, and it doesn't matter if you're walking several miles or if you're just walking short distances around your house. If you are walking, that's going to put some extra stress in through your calf muscles, and if you're not stretching regularly, that can make them really get tight and kind of bound up. Some other very common things that can cause calf tightness: ladies wearing high heels will definitely make your calves really tight because of the position that it puts your foot in. So when you're in a high heel, it makes you come up onto your toes a little bit more, which means that you're activating your calves the entire time you're wearing a high heel. It's going to make your calves very, very tight. Some other very common activities that can cause calf tightness: any kind of sports that you're playing, running. Again, simple things like walking can definitely make your calves very tight. Even something as simple as your sleeping position at night. When our feet are at rest, they have a tendency to kind of point forward, and that can make your calves really tight as well. The first way that you can assess if you have tight calves is just very simple: putting your heel on the floor and just gently pulling your toes up toward you. If you feel something besides just a gentle stretch in the back of your leg and the back of your calf, if you're feeling pain or a deep pulling or even getting a little bit of a muscle cramp, then you definitely want to come to PT and get that addressed. The other one is to come against a wall. You're going to put your toe right up against the wall and then gently lunge forward. If you can't reach your knee to the wall to meet with your toe, then your calves are pretty tight. And that can also indicate other problems besides just calf tightness. You might have some restrictions in your ankle joint as well. How can PT help if you are experiencing muscle tightness, specifically with your calves? We will show you some definite targeted strengthening. There are two different muscles in your calves. You have your big calf muscle, which is called your gastrocnemius. That one starts above your knee joint and then comes down the back of your leg and inserts into your Achilles tendon, which then inserts into your heel bone. One way to stretch your largest calf muscle, which is called your gastrocnemius, is to come against a wall, come into a little bit of a lunge, and then keeping your back heel down and your knee straight, gently lunge forward till you feel a stretch in the back of your calf. It's very important to keep your knee straight with this stretch so that you're really isolating out that larger calf muscle that crosses your knee joint. Your other calf muscle is called your soleus muscle. That's a smaller muscle and it's a deeper layer. And it's something that when people in general stretch their calves, they usually tend to ignore that deeper muscle because they're unsure of how to isolate that muscle out. To stretch that deeper, smaller calf muscle, you want to bring your feet a little bit closer together in a smaller lunge position. Keep your back heel down. Gently come down into a lunge. This one, to isolate out the soleus, you want to keep your knee bent because that muscle does not cross your knee joint. So this is how you isolate out that deeper muscle. Besides just a regular stretching routine, we'll also do some tissue mobilization. So you will get hands-on work one-on-one with a therapist, and they will really work to improve your tissue mobility, increase your range of motion in the joints themselves, and make sure that you are performing optimally. And that will help you get back to the activities that you love to do, whether it's walking, running, playing sports, whatever it is you love to do. If you're experiencing any muscle tightness or would like to learn more about stretching, click the link below, or you can call our office at 703-450-4300. Thanks.